So I was in a bad mood this morning. I was looking at my 40-gallon tanks and thinking, these things look awful. Look at all that crap on the back of the tank. And I had this substrate in here, which I pulled out before I started filming. It was fluorescent colored variety, mixed with natural, mixed with sand. So it was just so awful looking, the substrate, and the filter was looking bad, and the background with all the hard water deposits all over it from the filter. It was just looking really, really awful. So it annoyed me so much. Oops, all right, there goes all the stuff. In case you didn't know it, I'm a complete klutz. So if I can break something or drop something, I'll do it at least a couple of times a day. So anyway, got everything cleaned out of there, and I thought, what can I do to reset this and make it look nicer? First thing was, of course, getting rid of the substrate. Second thing is going to be getting rid of that awful background and scraping some of the crap off the back of the tank. So I peeled the background off first, and then I just taken a razor blade really carefully around the silicone to get rid of all of the algae that's accumulated there for a while. And you notice I'm prepping the back of the glass with vinegar and razor blade. So I got the back of the tank like brand new, and pulled out my black paint, which I got for like $2 for a gallon because somebody mistinted it. So first coat's the most important. First coat, you just got to be even. Make sure you get into the edges. Second coat, much less important. You're just making it more opaque. As that's drying, I'm putting all of the insides of the filters into a bucket of tank water, and the outside of the filter and the body of it, I'm scrubbing it down, making it look better. So got that, and the glass, I'm just doing that with vinegar and a razor blade and trying to get the glass looking better too. So working on my final coats of paint here, just trying to get make sure it's fully opaque. And I spilled my Diet Coke, so of course I have to clean off the Diet Coke off of the pool table. So exciting. Anyway, last coat. So when you're done the last coat, make sure you give it a while to dry. Make sure it's just bone dry, because if you try and peel that tape off while it's partially wet, it's not going to be good. And nice thing about 40 gallons is you can remodel them all by yourself. You don't need anybody else to help you lift a 40 gallon, especially if you're just turning it like I did. So part of the hard reset I wanted to do was, of course, getting things clean and replacing the substrate. I'm not going to do anything today to the decor or anything inside the tank. I'm just going to leave what I've got. The plastic plants and rocks that I've got there now will have to do, even the ones that I dropped on the floor and broke. So priming that filter takes a bit of time, but not too bad. And this is the pool filter sand. So as you can see with pool filter sand, it doesn't cloud the water. You'll look at it and think, oh man, look at that, he clouded the water. But give me about 2 minutes in video time, about 2 hours in real time, and you'll find out that water's going to clear up just nice. So I got the first tank done, and I thought, you know what, there's still a few hours left in the day. I think I'm going to do the second tank too. So fully dismantled 2 complete tanks in one day. I took the hang on the back filter, hung it on the back of the tank that just got its new substrate, and look at that pool filter sand clearing up nice. Took out all of the fish, and there's probably about 20 fish, and I added them to the 75 gallon. So the 75 gallon is going to be super overpopulated. I'm going to have to make a trip to my favorite pet store and get rid of some of those fish in there, because it's a little bit too much right now. So in any case, so this is the second tank. This one I had a mix of sand and gravel, and at first, for the first several months, it looked kind of cool. I got this kind of gravelly ground and meeting up like a little onto the beach, right? A little sand on the side, and it looked all fine. And then it started to mix together, and the fish bring it up in their mouths and they spit it out over the gravel. So it just wasn't looking good. So it was a lot of work. It was a bit of a process getting the gravel out and leaving the sand. I had to kind of sift out the sand. But I got it done after a little bit of work. Pulled off that ugly background here, and I'm going to do the same thing as I did to the last one. Clean it off really well, razor it, scrape it, vinegar, water, get it wiped down, looking good. And I just tape off the frame. You really don't have to with these black frames. You can just, but I'm just, you know, a little overcautious. So again, you first get that first coat on, right into the cracks as even as you can. And it doesn't have to be very thick. Second coat. And by the way, I'm waiting about a half hour between coats here, and I have a fan that I leave blowing on it, so I'm not really doing it as fast as you see it here. This 7.5 minute video is 5.5 hours of video time. So record 5.5 hours, do 7.5 minutes. It seems fair, right? So anyway, got this thing shaping up pretty quick. Used a chlorinator. I used a chlorinator really early on when I'm adding water to a tank, so that I don't kill off my beneficial bacteria. I kept the sand there. You notice I'm grabbing sand for the neighboring aquarium. I actually grabbed a quart of sand from each of the 210 gallons and 2 quarts of sand from that 75 gallon next door, because they had more than they needed. And so this is already, the water's clearing up a little faster than it did on the pool filter sand one. But look at the one up above it. Look how clear that is. It's only been a couple hours now, and I gotta say, it's about as good as it'll ever be. That sponge filter and the hang on the back filter, and these is all I've got. That 75 gallon is just teeming with life. And now as I pan around the room, those two don't look quite as bad as they did. So they got the 75s there, got the 240s, and they're starting to look pretty darn clear. So just basically turned a couple of eyesore tanks into something that'll be a little bit nicer. I'm going to take a trip to the pet store and get rid of some extra fish that I've got in the 75 gallon there, and then probably take some of my prettiest small fish that are growing out and put them in these 240 gallons. And so you'll see them hopefully with nice fish in them in future videos. Thanks for watching today. Hope something struck your fancy or you learned something. Have a great day.